Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 492. The unexpected start of 492. My name is Chris.
I gave you fair warning.
Yes.
I'm here with Jeff Jordy.
What up, guys?
And Jason A. Stryker.
Yo, that's me.
We need to make sure Chris is prepared.
Yes. And that led to laughs, and then he started recording, and I wasn't ready. But that's okay.
Well, let's back up a second. So we're recording this on a Sunday because we had
God damn you, Jeff.
schedule conflicts. Then yesterday, Chris had an
My internet went
issue. His internet went out, and then we tried to record from him tethering it to his phone.
That didn't work.
No,
it did not.
It was really, really bad. It was really bad.
But Chris had a very busy week, and Jason and I were sitting here waiting for Chris to join after he's putting his kids to bed. And of course, we're going to go over the Xbox partner showcase they just did. So I'm like, let's see over and under, or Chris did not watch this. Yes, he's almost guaranteed he didn't. And of course, we go through this whole thing where we're not going to be able to record. And then we're like, Chris, you didn't watch that thing, did you? He's like,
Yes, I did, Jeff. Of course I watched it, Jeff.
And keep in mind, Jason posted, I think it was like on Tuesday or Monday, it was like, Xbox is doing a partner showcase. Make sure to watch it.
You guys.
Yeah, he said you guys, and I'm like, hey man, I watch all of these things. He's like, that's more or less for Chris, and tag Chris, by the way. Make sure he saw it.
I did see it. I just didn't get a chance to watch it when it was live. That's all. And to be fair, I don't get to watch any of them live. I know
you always watch them afterwards.
Yeah, I always watch them afterwards. Like the past 2 or 3 Nintendo ones, the past 2 or 3 Sony ones. It's always been like,
yeah, that's nothing to do with.
I guess I'll watch it. Yeah, I guess I'll watch it when I got time.
It's just funny. So we had to make sure today because we didn't want,
Yeah. So they asked me, "Did you watch it?" Yeah, I watched it. Really? Yeah, I fucking watched it. Yeah, damn.
I was like, whoa, okay. All right.
I love you guys. I love you guys.
Sure?
Well, there is a quiz, so
I love you guys. Yep. Also, fuck you guys. So anyway, no interest today. We're gonna jump right into games. And I don't know what we're talking about first. Jason, you said you played some demos, so let's talk about those. What do you got?
Oh man, so it's Steam Next Fest going on.
Yes,
last week or whatever. That's when
Lots
they just
of
released a shit ton of demos for upcoming stuff. Whether or not the game's ready or even close to being ready, they will put out a demo for the game usually. So sometimes it's to their benefit. Sometimes maybe it's too early to look, which is the case of some of the games. Spirit Strike, I think, is one of them that seems like it's really half-baked, but it's got a really, really cool premise. Like it's a 3D beat 'em up, essentially. But it's got all the stuff that you would expect from a game like that. It's got parries, it's got specific dodges and stuff like a la Sekiro and whatnot. So I don't think
Spirit Strike.
Spirit Strike, I believe. Yes, that's what I wrote down. Spirit Strike.
Okay. Yeah, it's not coming up. That's okay.
It's over the top 3D brawler.
Oh, that sounds right up your alley.
Yep. But bad camera and a huge difficulty spike. Like I put it on easy after I was having problems with it initially. I got through the tutorial and got to the tutorial boss and immediately got my ass kicked. And I'm like, okay, there's something I'm not getting. Let me go through the tutorial all over again. Fucking A. What it's tripping me up on is when they flash red, you have to do a jump dodge instead of like a parry or a roll or something like that. And the window is so small and it just knocks you on your ass. And it just would repeatedly do that. So I gave up on it. But like I said, it's got the building blocks. It's got
the potential.
Yeah.
Well, it's early, right? It's an early demo. Yep. I'm sure hopefully they get some feedback that's similar to what you're saying and they make some adjustments. There are beat 'em ups that don't fix shit like that. The one that comes to mind is fucking what's his name? I don't know why I can't remember his name. Versus the World.
As a director. Oh, versus Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. Yes.
Pilgrim. Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If you played that game, man, that game was really, really fucking hard, and it was really hard in multiple ways. Like the game was already hard, and then there's a bunch of cheap shit that happens in it too, where like guys can hit you from off screen and things like that, and it's just all anyway. So let's just hope they fix it.
Yeah. So I'm going to look that up now just to make sure. But let's see. The other one that I played, it's Spirit. Yeah, Spirit X Strike. Spirit X Strike.
Gotcha.
Any luck?
I'm looking now.
Okay.
Yep, got it now.
Cool. All right. Anyway, so now that you brought that up, let's move on to the next one. The next one is another beat 'em up. I stuck to my wheelhouse. I stayed in my own lane for most of these here. This is called Pizza Kid, and this is another one that I liked the mechanics of quite a bit. It's already got a really, really good feel, good animation. It's pixel graphics. But yeah, there's lots of air juggles and whatnot. It feels really good. Good look. Look up Pizza Kid. Go check that out.
I like the art style. It looks really neat. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting too much out of that one, but no, it was pleasantly surprising. There's a couple that I picked up that I immediately bought afterwards. One of those is called Decline's Drop, and you start as this cutesy doll.
Decline's Drop. So you drop further than a decline. It's a decline drop.
Decline's possessive drop.
Oh, so it's okay. Gotcha.
I think the main character's name is Globule. It's really strange, but you play as this like Pinocchio puppet. You're made out of wood or whatnot, but you've got like this nice flowery sundress, and like all the aesthetics are very, very cutesy, but it's got some like really hardcore mechanics tied up into it. It's really nice hand-drawn animation, but it's got air juggles and launchers and multi-hit moves, and it's very much in the vein of like a Smash Brothers platformer. It's got like directional attacks and like tilt attacks, but then they have some precision platforming involved with it as well. Not only that, just like some general Sonic the Hedgehog like level design. It's pretty crazy. It's all over the place, but I loved that one. Like that one really took me by surprise, and I haven't seen anybody talking about it. But I immediately played through that demo and turned right around and bought it. I want to say it was like $15 or something like that.
So are most of these already out? Like the games are already out there, or
not all of them? No.
Well, not the first one, definitely, but
yeah, not Spirit Strike. Pizza Kid is not out yet, as well. But there's another one. Go ahead.
Adorably badass. Like like the character is very cutesy, and like everything she's doing is like
all these spinning attacks.
Yeah,
and shit.
There's like fucking spinning jump kicks and like all kinds of crazy spinning punch moves, and
she's got these cute little blue boxing gloves.
Yeah, it's kind of adorable. And then she turns around and beats everything up.
Yep, that's great.
That's pretty awesome.
But I haven't unlocked a ton of stuff yet. But it looks like you'll be able to do like air grabs and shit like that, and knock enemies to the ground and follow up, OTG stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. Great mechanics to that one. Please go check that out.
Yeah.
Another one that I played that I immediately bought, something called Iron Meat, which is not a beat 'em up, believe it or not.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah, it should be.
It sounds like it should be.
Should be a single player beat 'em up.
A single player beat 'em up, or co-op. If that's
it looks like it looks like Contra.
Sure.
Yeah, it is very much Contra. It is a Contra game. And
nice.
it plays like a Contra.
Even the positioning of the character looks Contra. Like he lays down
diagonally down and stuff.
Yeah, and when he lays down on the ground, like his feet are curled up in the back, just like they do in the original Contra. So lots of little touches there. It looks very, very similar.
Yeah, it's extremely in line with.
Oh, this looks cool. Yeah.
Go check that out as well. I like that one quite a bit. Let's see, what is the last game? RetroRealms finally came out with their Halloween Michael Myers / Ash Williams Evil Dead.
Oh yes, I remember seeing.
I saw something about that.
So yeah, this is a retro-inspired, pixelated, beat 'em up as well. Platformer. You've got like special, attacks, where you can do like uppercuts or like charge moves forward. You've got some like invincible side dashing. Also some a way to like go into the spirit realm or the horror realm or something like that, and that'll help you like traverse the levels. So you get to like one particular spot, and then you hit a brick wall essentially, and you're like, I don't know how to get past this. So you go into the spirit realm, and then it's got different enemies. You backtrack a little bit, and then you can take a different path to go forward in the level, and then switch back to the regular realm. But very good look to it. This is done by Way Forward. And I know Chris is a fan of them as well. So there's
fanboy. I can be a fanboy of them. Yeah, it's okay. I'm good with that.
There's some good stuff going on in this as well. What wasn't good is that I apparently, so like back in August when this was first announced, I immediately pre-ordered it because they had this cool collector's edition on Amazon, right? It's got like a Michael Myers plushie. It's got some like collectible trading cards and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, I'll spring for this. I want that plushie. So I get an email stating that the game is going to be delayed.
Oh, okay.
Not canceled, but the special edition that I had pre-ordered from Amazon was getting pushed back a little bit. Yeah, delayed. And I immediately, check out like, all the, information that they've put out, and I come across their website, and it looks like their special edition is a collector's edition. And that is different than what they have on Amazon. It has way cooler stuff. There's a steelbook, Geoff.
Oh, damn.
Goddamn steelbook. As well
Jeff's going to order it right now.
So I missed out on that. And I was pissed off, especially because they said that people who had pre-ordered the special edition or collector's edition were going to get emailed the code to unlock the game early.
Okay, yeah.
And I was not getting that because I pre-ordered on Amazon. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
that sucks.
Tweeted at them, and I'm like, yo, help a guy out. And they're like, nope, sorry, it's different than what's on our site. So
shitty.
That sucks.
So I immediately canceled the Amazon and pre-ordered on their site, and then went and bought it on on Steam anyway, because I really wanted to play it, and I'm glad I did. I love that steelbook. The box, it is like a arcade cabinet replica.
Oh, cool.
Oh, neat. Yeah, that's cool.
You were gonna say, Chris?
Yeah. So explain RetroRealms to me, because it's like it seems like they're two different games, Halloween and then Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Are they two separate games?
Mostly in cosmetics, yeah. Like they're different in that respect. A lot of the gameplay similarities are there, but they're, for the most part, like they're kind of like reskins of the other, I guess. That's
so your physical like special edition, does it come with both?
Yes, it does.
Nice. Okay,
so
that's good.
You can buy each game like individually by itself for like $25, but if you pay $50, then you get both, and then you get the two extra characters as well. Another weird thing is that you can actually play as Ash in the Halloween levels and vice versa.
Okay.
So you can take the character kind of wherever you go, but there's additional characters like Laurie Strode and the lady
Kelly Maxwell.
From the Ash versus the Evil Dead series. So
yeah, that's cool.
Little bonuses.
Yeah, it's cool the way they laid it out. Like on Steam, you can buy each individually.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy both of them together for $50, and then you can buy everything all together for $60. But I hate when they do this. It's like you can buy just each of them. Each one of them is like $24.99. And then if you buy them together, it's $49.99. So you're actually paying a penny more than buying them each individually.
Right. Yeah.
So that's weird. I don't know why that always happens.
Silly. But gameplay is really good. I'm really pleasantly surprised by it.
It looks fun. It looks really fun.
Mm-hmm. Boss battles are really good. There's there's unlocks. There's tapes that you can find throughout the levels that'll unlock like video interviews outside of the games. but still inside of the launcher. The launcher is like you're inside of a gas station / museum kind of thing where you're physically walking around.
Oh, that's what
in
this
the
is.
game.
I'm looking at
And
the screenshots and I'm seeing that, and that makes sense now.
so you get whenever you like unlock like an achievement or something like that, you unlock a diorama like inside of the game that you can view and flip around and shit like that. That's really cool. Nice little fan service like that. But you'll notice that there's I want to say at least 2 key cabinets that are like under wraps.
Yeah, they're covered up.
They're covered up. So
Yeah.
ostensibly that's, games that they have, the works as well. Probably like it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that.
Nice.
Whatever they end up getting the rights to. So yeah, let them cook, man. WayForward does good stuff, and this does not disappoint.
I agree.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Lots of platformers and beat 'em ups and stuff. For me, it's been a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Geoff, how about you?
Hey, not too much other than Metaphor either, but I did. I'm still playing some Diablo, Vessel Hatred. Still playing a little bit of that. I've totally fallen off that a little bit, so I guess not totally, but I'm not playing it all the time. But I'm still kicking at her, and gonna get through at least the campaign. One thing I did test out though, the current gen upgrade for Darksiders 2 came out.
Yeah, I booted that up.
Tuesday or I can't remember which day it was exactly. So what it is they took the definitive edition, such a dumb name, the remaster they did last gen, and they released a current gen version. So they added in like ray tracing and a bunch of other like lighting effects and stuff, and tweaked some things here and there. And I thought it looked right away off the rip. It looked pretty good. Like I was like, okay, I can totally see what they've done to this. It looks really good. It doesn't like look generationally better, but it looks like you can tell like the shadows, especially the way they warp and the lighting and stuff, just looks really good. Like when you're riding on the horse and you just see the shadows kind of cascading underneath, and the way that it moves and everything, it's just like it looks really good. It adds a subtlety to the game now that looks like this is what I've noticed with good ray trace games, is that it makes everything look connected, like nothing is separate, if that makes sense. Like it looks like he's walking on the ground. It doesn't look like there's like a, like this guy is animated to look like he's walking on the ground, that sort of thing. And like objects like in the levels and stuff like that just look like they're more part of a painting, because that game did have like the cell shading and stuff, kind of like not cell. Was it like, I guess it's kind of cell shading, not
a little bit,
a little.
Like everything looks like it should now. Like it doesn't seem out of place or anything like that, as you just said. But it's a little more cohesive and just like integrated, like visually across the board. It's a good looking game, like it was before, and it looks even better now. It's pretty cool,
and it's not just like me remembering what it looked like, because when they made the announcements, the teaser, I downloaded all of those games again.
Nice.
Because I was going to play through one of them until a game came out, and I actually played a little bit of the first one, the second one, and the third. And so I just loaded up my save from where I was in the second one, which was still very early. I only played like the beginning half an hour or so, but yeah, and it's free. If you already have the definitive edition, it is free. You automatically get it. And they've been on sale on PlayStation and on Xbox, and I assume probably on PC as well. Lately. Like I know when I grabbed the double pack of 2 and 1, it was like $15 for both. And Jason was saying, I think just 3 was on sale right now on PSN, right?
Yes, but also on Xbox they had the Whips and
Whips
Guns,
and Chains,
the Whips and Guns edition, which is like all 3 of the games. And that was $60, I think.
Can I say just how disappointed I was that I was not as grabbed from the third game?
Third one,
It sounded like oh man, a fucking sword whip. That's awesome. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And it just didn't do it. Like I tried twice, and I got like probably, I think the second time around I got about 10 hours into the game, and I was like, I mean, this is fun. It's just not grabbing me for some reason. I don't know why.
They jumped on that Souls like too fast, I think. Before it was really fleshed out. Sorry, what were you saying, Jason?
My initial reaction to that game is that it was marred with technical issues, like on the PC side, and I put it away for a while. But even when I came back to it, after like we did a quick look at work,
Mm-hmm.
I started playing it again, and I'm just like, no, this is not doing it for me.
I fell off it really quick
Yeah.
like a month ago when I tried all of them again, and I was like, I'm going to give it real go this time. There's
Yeah.
time I can play, and then within a couple hours, I'm like, I see why I stopped. And
It's not terrible.
it's not. It's just
fine, and it's just not living up to the first one, right?
no, or the second. I don't
Yeah.
think it's just not. And it's too hard, and it's trying to be too much like a Souls game. But
Yeah.
the way those games control doesn't lend well to the Souls
I agree with
genre
you there.
at all. Like the way you lock on to enemies and everything, I'm just like, this is not fun. I ended up putting it on like easy, and it was still like it just wasn't hitting the same. I like the characters and stuff, but yeah, I like one is still my favorite, and then 2. But
yeah, one was a masterpiece. I thought 2 was really good, but it didn't hit the same notes as the first game did for me.
No.
Like I look at 1 as like, this is the adult Legend of Zelda game, period. Like, this is
it was a Zelda game basically.
Yeah, and Darksiders 2, they did a good job with it. Don't get me wrong, I loved the game, but it just didn't hit the I said it already. It didn't hit the same notes. But yeah, I
very loot heavy and build heavy.
Indeed, yeah, a lot of inventory management, trying to figure out what's going to work best for you, things like that. But it looks like I do have it, the definitive edition. So cool.
Definitely give it a shot. I'm gonna it's gonna go on the back burner, obviously, because there's way too much shit to play right now. And coming out, I'm hoping there's a good spot like in November. I can maybe fit it in if I want to, but I want to revisit it eventually. It looks pretty. And the only other thing is Metaphor, and I know, Chris, that's all you've played as well.
That's all I played this week. It was kind of a slow week. Yeah,
I love this game.
It's great. I don't know how far you guys are. I'm probably behind both of you because of
I haven't been playing. I've been playing beat 'em ups. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. I am in the cathedral, the first like really big dungeon.
Oh, the first main dungeon, yeah.
Yeah, near the end. And I did a few. I did one of the bigger side quests beforehand. The one that the merchant gives you.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that one first. I'm glad I did. But I've been just kind of plugging through. I did a little bit of grinding. There was one area where you can do some pretty effective grinding in the cathedral. So quite literally just about everything in the cathedral I've been able to defeat while in, just action combat mode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really enjoying it. One thing that I don't feel like we touched on last week is, like, I don't know how you guys feel about the music in this game, but I really I love the music.
Love the music.
And I love what they do with the music, because like just to give kind of an example, like the music in the cathedral it's beautiful. There's like it's like orchestral, there's a chorus behind it all. When they keep everything, they keep all the tracks well separated within the game, because once you run into once an enemy sees you, the music doesn't skip a beat. It's still playing the same music, but the chorus fades out, and like that extra percussion track comes in and completely changes the way the music feels. You know what I mean? And things like that, I just don't see that a lot in games, and it was just something that I really appreciated, especially in the cathedral, because it was like the in and out of the chorus while you're going through the dungeon is really evident. But yeah, really, really cool what they do with that music.
Oh, I love the music. I was annoying the hell out of Tanya with it the first couple of days. She loves the song now. Yeah, because I'd always be like, I'd just be randomly like, oh yeah, and T, and she'd be like, what? I'd be like, it'll be sitting there.
And the funny thing is, Geoff, when you told me that, dude, like now when I sit down and I run into one of those fights where that music comes on, I kind of giggle a little bit, because I see you going T, and
I'll just be like, or we sitting there watching something, and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to tell you, and she's like, well, I'm like, oh yeah. But now she loves it. She was actually like watching me play, and she's like, she was actually considering play. She's like, "Well, do you think I'd like this game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it's got stuff you like
Wow,
about it,
nice.
but I love the music. It's so good, man." I'm pretty far. I'm at the third big dungeon, so I'm like 35 hours in or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it. The characters, and this game has like all the emotions. I mean, I had an LOL moment that is just. I played this through the scene like 4 times just because I loved just what the characters are doing and how this one character,
is it the
like
one that you threw on Twitter?
Yeah, I just put a screenshot of like that scene or whatever, and I don't think you're there. No, you're not. You're not.
I don't think so.
So, yeah, just the reaction that Hulkenberg has when a certain character says something, and then they all just start yelling. It's like an airing of the grievances almost, like when they're trying to lure out this character and all this yelling shit. Like, oh, it's just so good. And you have a chance to say something, and there's like 4 different things you can say, and I want to see what all 4 of them, what the reaction.
That's good. I like that.
So good. And then there's this. It gets really dark in some places, and I don't. Is Persona like? Was it like bloody? I didn't really.
Yes.
Oh, was it? Okay, because I was super shocked at some of the things that happens in this. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that game gets kind of dark. Yeah, I mean, you've got teenagers shooting themselves in the head.
Sometimes. Well, yeah, but that's 3, right? Yeah, that's the first one. And this one they rip out their hearts, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then they like scream into it like a microphone.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like a metal heart thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
If I remember right, the very first Persona had like a warning on the back about like Satan worship or something like that. I can't remember.
That was the 90s. Sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't know. I had to look at it.
It is cool because like now, like when you really, I do want to go back to Persona 5. I don't know how many of the quality of life stuff is in Persona 5 that is in this, or if I just didn't notice it. But it is kind of like when the onions peel back and you kind of see, or I guess like, I don't know, like you kind of see how the game's built. It is very basic. Like it is, they could have made this game like a menu game only outside of like dungeons, and it would still kind of be the same thing. Because you can almost do everything from the menus and like fast traveling and just going around, which I have no problem with because like all the interactions with everyone is great. Like I love the dialogue in it, so I don't have a problem with like doing that just for those little kind of like not even cutscenes, just little conversations you'll have with the character and stuff like that. And I have a better understanding of how these games are kind of designed, and I'm digging it. I'm in a flow. I got a good loop down. Yeah, I don't know what else to say regarding it. I know I had some other stuff I wanted to point out. Well, almost all positive. Like the only thing I can knock this game for is it looks like a fucking Switch game. That's it. And I don't mean that as like it looks like Mario Odyssey or something. Like it looks like it's just.
It looks dated. Yeah.
Technically, it looks very dated. Art style wise, great. Technically dated. It's just a lot of aliasing and.
Yeah, I would agree.
Which kind of
and like I think the game stands on its own though. I don't really think it needs.
No, it doesn't.
You know, but it doesn't need like super amazing graphics. You know.
No, but that's the thing though. It's like because when there is like a frame rate drop or a hitch and stuff like that, it's just more mind boggling. Just like they need to upgrade their engines. Like some of those last gen engines don't run well on current gen at all. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the PS4 version runs better than the current gen versions, just because
that's not that in Digital Foundry that it actually does.
Oh, did they actually say? I didn't see the one where they did all the
consoles. Yeah, that it does. Work a little bit better.
Yeah, it just makes. There's a lot of games like that. They even with Fallout 4. Remember when they did the current gen version of that, like when the show was coming out, and a lot of people said that when they released that, it actually runs worse than if you were to run the PS4 or Xbox One version on the new consoles. And like that's like just it's weird.
Yep.
This game's so good. I love it. I love everything about it. It's just.
Do you have all the archetypes yet?
No, I have like 18 of them unlocked or something like that.
Okay.
18 or 19. Yeah, and I try to keep them to like 2 or 3 per character. That just so it doesn't get too overwhelming and too like I need to make sure like everyone has all these spells and these like attacks. I try to want to role play them like Hulkenberg is mostly like a knight or like a fighter. And I have like the warrior, of course, is Stroll, and then I have like the other characters as like the background, like mages and stuff like that, or commanders, or you get a sniper and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's I did. What was I going to say? I like how the game does teach you things, like you can go into a dungeon and you'll talk to random NPCs and they'll tell you stuff like these enemies are weak to this or whatnot. Or you can go to the informant that's in like the bars
and buy
each town
his
and
information.
and they give you really good information that I'm so happy they do. Because
the Minotaur, dude.
The Minotaur fucked me up. I actually dropped the difficulty at fighting the Minotaur because I was like, I don't want this game. Like, I'm loving it, and I don't want this to be like a hurdle that I can't. I was like, I'm putting it one difficulty down. And
honestly, that entire dungeon was like, if you walk in there, like, so, and you know, I would suggest doing what he's talking about. When you find the informant, if he's got information about a particular dungeon, buy it. So I'm not considering this a spoiler because you should buy it and you should know before you go in.
Yeah, I don't think it's spoiler. Yeah. I mean, they tell you.
They tell you straight up. They're like, don't walk in with a mace or a staff. So if you're using either the healer or the mage archetype, you get fucked up. So I actually I went in. I was like, it can't be that bad, right? I went in with the healer because More also gives you a quest to get the healer to level 10. Man, you walk in and they see that mace, all of a sudden they are hitting everybody and they're doing like double damage. And I'm like, holy fuck. So
they clap your cheeks.
Yeah. And the biggest problem was I didn't actually, so I was using my main character was the healer, and I was I went from mage to healer, and then I left what's his name as a warrior.
Stroll.
A straw, and then the girl I left her as a knight. So the only other thing that I could use was Seeker at the time, and I hadn't gotten any new equipment for Seeker. So like if I was to avoid getting hit with that much damage, I was going back to Seeker with like the crappy little sword that I ended up having. So I walked in as a healer and got my ass kicked, and then said, okay, I'm going to go switch to Seeker, but I couldn't leave the dungeon because I would have wasted the day. And so I couldn't get equipment. Right. So I was walking around as Seeker with this, like, the second sword in the game that you get or something like that. So when I finally found in the dungeon, you find a weapon for the knight class. So when I finally got to the boss, I flipped the main character to knight class as well. And I walked in with 2 knights and a warrior. So I was just unloading with that synergy attack that they've got. And synergy attacks are great. Yeah, and that's what was working for me. And I love the synergy attacks too. And in a lot of cases, you have to really need to use them because they're expensive. It's like not only do they cost an additional action, right? Because both characters are taking on
using their turn,
right. But the magic points that you're using are coming from both characters that are involved. So those moves are really expensive. So you have to really know that you have to use them. So when I got to the boss, I was like, it was one of those things. I only had a limited number of MP regeneration, and I was like, all right, I'm going to use what I can right now. And I walked in with about half MP for all my characters, and I was able to finish it off. But
nice.
It took me a few tries. That's another thing we haven't talked about is like the fucking battle reset. How good is that?
Oh, that's great. That's so
that
good.
Is so good.
Try again. Try again.
Because it keeps all the info you learn during the battle. Like in the game, like if you open up a weakness, when you start it, you already know that weakness. Not because you know it, the game saves it, I guess. So it's kind of cool to have.
Yeah, and it comes in at the exact moment with the exact setup as when you would just started. So if you came in and you stunned them, and you want to reset that battle, they'll be stunned still when you come in. So that shit's good, man. That shit's really, really good. So quality of life, good stuff.
I think I tried that guy like 4 or 5 times, and I think it was the last time I got him down to like almost like a sliver of health. and I had like hardly any MP left. And this is what made me go down to easy, because I got cocky. Like if I was smart, I could have probably killed him the next turn, but because of his low health, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try for this, and I threw out an attack that, because when an enemy has a resist to something, they still take damage. It's just reduced damage. And I thought, well, based on the reduced damage, I should still be able to do this. And I went for an attack. It missed, which means you lose turns.
A turn, yeah.
And that was that was it. Switched over to him, and then he clapped my ass, and it was dead. So then that was a long fight, because I was doing it like I was using like a whole bunch of items. I'm like, I really don't want. I think because I didn't do what you did. I think I was stuck with the mage. I can't switch him out of anything right now. I don't want to waste a day of just being stubborn. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to keep the mage and just deal with the damage that comes. And then I was like, you know what? I'm throwing on easy. And then I'm just like, sure. It's still, I wouldn't say it's as challenging, but the boss fights and stuff still take some strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's kept the flow
the game
going.
is not easy, right?
So,
it's,
it's pretty tough on normal. But yeah, no, fuck, man. I love it.
I do too. As I said, I did a little bit of grinding in the cathedral, and when I found a good spot, I actually hung out there until I got both the knight and the warrior for the other two characters up to level 20. So I've got some extra money because I was using the merchant at the time.
Oh, the merchant's kind of broken right now. Like, I'm not sure if they'll ever patch it, but he's pretty OP.
It's crazy. Like the merchant. So for people that are going to go and get this game and start it, all right, when you get to the city after the funeral, right? Because we know how the beginning of the game works with the king getting killed. So after the funeral, a lot of shit happens, right? There's a lot of story there, a lot of spoilers. I'm not going to say because that's bad. But once you get started, make sure you get the healer quest from Moore, and make sure you get your wisdom up to level 2, and you can do that. You can do that pretty easily. And then, last week we were talking about the dragon, right? So I did actually start over, beat that dragon, and get that sword. Yeah. And then I awakened it, or whatever it was called. And purified it. Thank you. And it's badass. So I'm glad I'm running around with that in the warrior's hands. But you can actually in one day you can get your wisdom to level 2, and that will allow you to purify things. It will also let you take the merchant's quest. The woman that's in front of the igniter shop. That merchant quest that's what we're talking about with the Minotaur. It's not easy. It is not easy. But if you go in with the merchant, when you're running around taking out enemies in the cathedral, you're getting like
so much gold.
16 gold, 17 gold, whatever, under normal circumstances. If you put the merchant on, all of a sudden you're getting 200 gold, 250 gold.
Like, and it just goes up and up the more you level it up.
And the more you level up, the more the bonus gets. So when I started my grinding, I spent probably about an hour and a half grinding. I was getting like 200, right? By the time I was done, I was getting 270 per enemy. So I'm still there. I'm still in there, but I'm going to walk out of the cathedral with over 700,000 gold because of it.
Fuck. So I've never had that much, but I don't grind. So it's like, the only time I've ever grinded is for MP, and with the mage, absolutely. In the dungeon that have the enemies that keep respawning with those things.
You can fill up your MP.
Yeah, I've only had to do that the one time. Now my MP is pretty high, so I'm usually pretty good to managing it. But it's you don't have to. For anyone who doesn't like grinding out there, you don't have to grind.
You don't have to grind.
Chris is like, he's like OCD like that. He grinds a lot.
It's not that I do. It was a good opportunity to do so. And,
of course,
yeah. And here's the thing. One of the things that I love about this game. So I talk about respecting your time a lot. This game does it, and then it doesn't. It kind of works both ways. One of the ways that I think it does respect your time is that even if you are running around with a maxed out archetype, you can still level up. And the way it works is that once you get to 20, it will level you again. It'll like get you to air quotes 21. But instead of actually leveling you up, it gives you an item that you can give to another archetype that will give it 1,000 XP.
Yeah. To any character, really good. Too. It doesn't have to be just
any character, any architect on that character. So, so if there's one character that you just, this guy, he's a warrior. He's going to stay a warrior. I'm not changing him. You're going to get those items and you can use them to level up other archetypes for that character or for any character. So that's really cool.
And the items there's not a super, you get enough of them, but they're so helpful because I was afraid that I was like, I don't want to level up all these archetypes for these characters if I need like 2 mages and I don't want to start from 1, but all it takes is like a few, like they come in like different increments, like 100, 500, 1,000. And you can just use a few of them depending on what level you start using these things at. And you can get up to like level 5 just by using a few of these on a brand new archetype. And that alone usually unlocks the main stuff you need for that archetype to be useful in a party. So it's not like you're constantly grinding them.
Yeah, and then depending on how much you've used that, or how much you've built that bond that is associated with that archetype, you can pull in 1 or 2 or 3, however many moves from other archetypes to customize what you're doing. So, and that was kind of what you were talking about last week. I hadn't done it yet, so now I've actually seen it.
And it's so straightforward. It's really cool. It's like so easy to understand. So if I can understand it, anyone can. That's usually my motto. Usually means it's pretty gamer friendly.
What I don't like,
noob friendly, idiot friendly. I can keep going. Sorry, what don't you like, Chris?
What I don't like is that if you go to a dungeon during the day, then when you leave the dungeon, it immediately skips to the next day. Like you don't get anything, you don't get any nighttime at all. Like I understand, I understand not allowing me to do something that requires the time at night. But like, for instance, I went to the dungeon, I went to the cathedral on Idol's Day. And just so everybody knows,
so you couldn't do anything.
So Idol's Day, Idol's Day is is the day of the week where all of the merchants put their shit on discount.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave the dungeon with 700,000 gold, and then I have to wait 7 days to get the discount because as soon as I leave, they're gonna skip to the next day. I can't even go shopping afterwards.
You can. You're just paying that premium.
Right. It would. Yeah. You have to do it on the next day, right?
Next morning. So they do. They do make up for that. Well, I won't say they make up for it, but there's one little thing. Like today, I was playing before we jumped on here, and I was hoping to finish. I was doing a side quest that involved me going to a dungeon that was 3 days away, but I have I think I have 14 or 15 days before like the next big dungeon that I have to do. But all you're doing in those 3 days is you're literally just doing the activities like building up your royal virtues, which is like what I talked about last episode when I kept talking about
that was the wisdom
courage
thing
or whatever. Wisdom, courage, like tolerance and stuff. So you're basically doing that like twice. Then you'll talk to your comrades for a bit. Then sometimes it'll throw a random battle on. Because you don't have the runner yet. So like you get that eventually, which is really cool. And so it's just doing that. Like you're basically doing 3 activities, like basically 3 times in a row. So you're doing like 9 times. So it does kind of get like, I just want to get there and do this, but it's a cool way to get your stats up while you're not really doing much. But at the same time, that's where it has that like filler where it's like, they could have just done this through a menu, but I can see why it's loved and it's something I can tolerate. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And they do a pretty good job with fast travel. So it's like you can...
Well, you can't fast travel once you're there once.
Yeah, once you're in the city, you can just move around from shop to shop. You don't even have to walk there. You just go to the map and work there,
that stuff's super easy. Yeah.
So when you're like during the days that you're staying in the city and working on your virtues, you can just jump from place to place.
That's not an issue while you're in a town. I'm talking about when you're going to like dungeons and side missions and stuff. That stuff you can't fast travel.
I gotcha. Unless
you've already been to that location. So those ones you gotta do the thing where it goes through each day, which is fine. The characters are fun to talk to. One of my favorite characters right now is one that I can't say, like, I'm not going to spoil this show at all. And I was kind of a little bit bummed when I heard another podcast talking about a certain character. And then right when I was introduced to something in the game, I was like, oh, well, obviously something's going to go a certain way. So I'm not going to do that. But that character that you get in your party from doing this is awesome. And is the entire quest line that involves you getting this person, and everything is really cool. It's dark, and it gets you in the feels, it gets you angry, it gets you sad. It was really cool. That's when I was like, man, this game has got some really good writing. And you'll be coming up to that soon, Chris. So
it does. Like I'm with you. Like even just up to where I'm at right now, the writing is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. And the voice acting is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's probably all I'm going to be playing for a while. Probably at least until Dragon Age. I'll probably be done by the time Dragon Age comes out, though.
Yeah, I still need to go back and finish Zelda, so that's still on the list. But yeah, this is definitely it's taking up some of my thought right now. So cool. Good stuff.
Word.
That's it.
You guys want to talk about some news?
Let's talk about some news. What you got?
Well, it's not so much news. We're going to talk about the Xbox partner preview showcase
that I watched
first thing in the morning.
Chris, did you watch it?
I watched it. Yes, I did watch it. Yeah,
you did. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So this was a thing that was a showcase that they showed. You know how like PlayStation does this, Nintendo does this, Xbox does this. Well, they'll kind of highlight third-party stuff that's coming that they kind of hold marketing for. So they show off some games. So it's like half an hour or something. It wasn't too long. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll just open it up to you guys and be like, anything catch your eye during this? There's a few things that caught my eye that I was like, oh, okay.
There's a few things that I thought were interesting. Well, the games that caught my eye were the Eternal Strands. I don't know if you guys
that did look kind of cool. Yeah.
That looked pretty neat. Mistfall Hunter, which looked pretty neat. Wu Chang, which was the second to last one. Great. That looked great. I was like, I don't know what that is, but I am interested. And then I'm optimistically curious about The Legend of Babu.
Okay, that's the one that looked like
the one with the dog, the one with the big dog,
sort of.
Yeah, it did
kind of same vibe.
But I was very curious about Wheel World because that actually looks like stylistically a lot like the Dungeons of Hinterberg that we talked about several weeks ago. And I don't know if it's related or not, but like
I have no idea.
Like the style is very, very similar. But yeah, the games that I just kind of pointed out, those ones absolutely caught my eye. I was very interested. And I know you guys are probably looking at Like a Dragon, right?
Absolutely. Oh my god.
That looks amazingly over the top and fun.
Dude, they got air juggles in Yakuza.
They have drifting in the boats. What is that?
Oh my god.
Like the boats are drifting. What's up?
I got Samoa Joe in my Yakuza. Oh.
Yeah, isn't there? Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
If I'm Ubisoft, I am pissed because it's like there's Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then Ghosts of Tsushima or Ghosts of Wutai. Yeah. Wutai gets announced. They're like, fuck. Well, that's kind of similar. And they're like, oh, but don't worry, we still have a Black Flag 4 remake that's coming. And they're like, oh, Yakuza Pirates. It's like, son of a bitch.
And it does look over the top. Like it looks.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It does look cool. They bumped up the release date too, from the 28th to the 21st.
Yeah, about a week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Mistfall Hunter was one that kind of looked God of War-ish, right? And it was kind of like, it was the PvE extraction one, right? The Souls extraction.
Souls like third person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the extraction part of that has me a little worried, to be honest with you. It's like, what does that mean?
Not gonna lie.
I but like what I saw, what they were doing in the preview looked really, really neat. So
it did. Wu Chang was probably the one that I was most interested in because they showed that at the Summer Games Fest, their Summer Games thing. They did their not E3 conference. They didn't show much gameplay though, which is kind of like really quick. This looked definitely more gameplay.
It's there was that block of like 3-4 games that were like almost interchangeable with one another, because it's all like, okay, these are all, you know, third person action Souls likes. Okay, I see what we're getting at here.
Yeah,
but that one in particular had at least a unique setting, and yeah, it looks really good.
it had a little bit of a style that kind of stood out from it. Also from another, I think, Chinese developer as well.
Yeah, it looks like it.
They've been on a tear lately. Subnautica 2. I didn't play the first one. I'm not sure if you guys did.
No, I didn't play it.
I heard things about that. Good things. To say things. They opened up with the Lake House DLC for Alan Wake 2. So I'm excited for that. That's coming out. Yeah, that's coming out next week, I think. I think it's the 22nd. I think it might be next week. And they ended with Firebreak, which is another Remedy joint, which is in the Control universe.
Yep.
And this
is co-op.
Is a co-op first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Thing.
This is strange. Yeah. Like I immediately saw the Remedy logo, and it set me in a certain place, and then it just like threw me on my head when I saw that it was co-op. So I don't know what to make of this game.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh no, it's a hero shooter. I'm like, why are they doing this? And then when I was like, hey, 3-player co-op PvE, I'm like, okay, I can see it. But it doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't have the style of any of their games.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what kind of has me kind of scratching my head. So I
mean, I hate to say it, but it looked extremely generic to me.
It did. That's the thing. It didn't look like, I just saw that. I would not think it was part of the Control or Alan Wake universe or anything.
And what was the other one that was a shooter that was like, I don't know why they're showing the Blind Fire?
That came out the same day. Yeah, early access.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it though.
Yeah, I at the end I was like, you know, they were showing that it was a shooter, and I feel like it felt like what they were going through, they were trying to make it feel VR-ish, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys felt that too, but
100%.
Yeah, 100%. That's what they were doing.
There's a lot of head bob and like speed of the gun and stuff. The way that
and he like the character looking around and moving the gun around and doing things with it, and but you could tell it's like while you're in gameplay, they're just moving the window, so it's not VR, right? So
no.
And then at the end, they pulled up all the character like the character models and stuff, and I'm like, is this related to Destiny? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, but yeah, I just that one I was like, I don't know why they're doing this, but okay, you know,
it's last few games that we mentioned are all coming to Game Pass too. So
they are, they are all mostly Game Pass,
yeah.
The ones that I'm interested in, surprisingly, are except for Yakuza and there's another one. What do you guys think of Mouse PI for Hire?
Okay, yeah, like I've seen videos of that for a while now, and
it reminds me of what was the one where they did like the black and white like animation horror one? You know what I'm talking about?
Matt, the one on the Wii?
No,
Mad World.
No,
black and white.
This is very much in the same vein.
This looks like first-person shooter Cuphead to me.
That's what it reminded me of.
It does. It reminded me of Cuphead right away. I'm trying to remember what the name of this game was.
The shooting in it though, and the way it looks like it controls looks a bit off to me, but I'm hoping it doesn't. It just looks kind of stiff movement-wise, but the animation of the actual characters look great. The one, Chris, you were talking about, Eternal Strands. Now, this is the first time I can remember seeing that, and I'm pretty sure this was announced before, because it's not like none of these games. Most of these games, I think, like 90% of them are not Xbox only. Actually, I don't think any of them are. It's just they're all like third party stuff. But that did look cool. I was just wondering if you know anything about it.
No, that's the first time I've seen it.
Okay, maybe it is the first time.
That's the first time I've seen it. But I am certainly interested in seeing more. It looks like it's not completely refined. I feel like that there's still some smoothing they need to do and some sanding to get things to look the way they want them to. But it like some of the stuff that was going on, like controlling the elements and telekinesis and all that other shit. I'm like, yeah, that's up my alley. I'm on that. Like, let's see that go out. Yeah. But yeah, those are the ones that really, that was one of the ones that really got me. Yeah.
I've heard no one talk about Blind Fire since, and it launched that day in early access. So maybe I'll have to look up some gameplay, because it's weird that they didn't show an actual like representation of what you would look like playing it, and they did like a weird animated trailer for like it. But like bull shots, remember those when people used to say bull shots or stuff?
Yeah.
It just looked like a fake gameplay, but
Mhm.
hey, that was it. That was pretty much it. So
Yeah.
that's probably the last of these we'll see until the Keeleys in December, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So
well, yeah. Well, so which one is at the top for you guys?
it's Wu Chang for me.
Yeah, definitely Wu Chang for me.
Then probably the Alan Wake stuff, just because it's next week and it looks awesome.
That was the 22nd, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
So question.
Yeah.
Have they shown the Chronos game before?
Oh, forgot. I totally forgot about Chronos. I don't think they showed that much. Maybe like a title screen, like announcement type thing. I thought this was going to be Callisto Protocol 2. That's what I thought it was going to be when they showed that, when this started up, because I didn't see the Bloober Team logo at the start. Because I was like working at the same time I was watching this, and then I was like, "Oh, are they making a Callisto Protocol 2?" Like that's what gave me that vibe. Nope.
I was like, what they showed, it's like I don't understand what the game is. Like I understand like it's going to be in this like
Team's Death Space. Or
yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
It does look Dead Space. It very much looks Dead Space, but I don't understand why there was a chess game going on.
And why he looked like he was going to kill the old lady with the
and why is he killing it? And like, are you that bad of a sport? You lost and you're going to kill the old lady?
Yeah, exactly. More loser there, are you, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Bloober Team, I've heard Silent Hill 2 is great. I'm looking to play that probably in the new year, most likely. But they haven't earned my trust to be like to say like this is gonna be good, or I'm totally interested in this yet.
Yeah.
So, have you guys didn't get Silent Hill 2? I figured Jason would have been all over that.
No, I was never a big fan of those games.
Okay. Yeah, I've never played one really. So
yeah, I didn't either.
Weird. Yeah, heard it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
They're just really good. Yeah.
Wu Chang, I'm all about that.
Yeah, that does look dope.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's it for news, but we do have a listener question. Now, this is on me, guys. I totally thought I tweeted this after we decided it was going to be like our question of the week, but I totally forgot. So you're only going to get our answers to this question of the week. This comes from a listener and
save it then?
And member of the Discord. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? We could save it.
Yeah, let's
feel like we should get other people's input for this too. And
let's save it. Put it out there on Twitter, and let's see what happens.
Okay, we'll do that. So Shveik, did I pronounce it right?
I think you did.
I'll say it here now.
I've known this guy for 2 decades. Okay, more than that. I've known this guy since college, essentially. I've been online, like, in him and I have been online in the same space for more than a decade, and I've never known how to pronounce his online name. So
I always thought it was like an Eastern European Shrek.
I always said Svajic. That's what in my head. That's what it was Svajic. So yeah,
I think that's how I pictured it. I pronounced it in my head as well.
Yeah.
But he's in our Discord. You should also join our Discord. You should look it up, Interactive Distractions. He's saying
you should.
Remakes. You love them or hate? Oh, hold on. I'm putting on my glasses here.
Here we go.
Serious mode. Serious. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, it didn't. Maybe that's why I missed Chronos. Remakes. You love them or hate them? What was a key thing that's needed for a proper remake? And what game would you like to see remade, a la RE2-4, Final Fantasy VII, Dead Space, etc.? So not remasters, for anyone listening, like full on like remakes.
Huh.
I like that. I forgot about the first part of that question. There's definitely some things that I prioritize to get me interested on remakes, which we'll talk about next week. And hopefully we'll hear some other opinions and thoughts and stuff on that topic.
From you guys.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I guess that's it. That's a quick one.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, tell a few friends about us. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment. All those things help us. We really want to grow the community. So all of those things will help us out. Check out interactivedistractions.com. That'll take you to our Linktree, which will direct you to our Discord. So come join the community, hang out with us, and chat about games. We love doing
keyboards.
that.
We had a long conversation about keyboards today.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I saw that. I scrolled through that. I was like, wow, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, until next week, my name is Chris.
I'm Jason.
I'm Geoff.
Play your games, and we'll talk to you next week.